EPA is proposing a 700 million gallon increase in renewable fuel volume requirements for 2017. That increase will be split between advanced fuels like cellulosic ethanol and biodiesel and conventional fuels like corn-based ethanol. President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Bob Dinneen, now joins us on the phone. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Dinneen. And can you describe the EPA's renewable fuel volume requirements for 2017?
Well, EPA has required 18.8 billion gallons of renewable fuels be used, and 14.8 billion of that will likely be conventional biofuels like corn ethanol. And while that is an increase from where it was a year ago, as you noted, it is still below the statutory levels. And we believe EPA has once again missed an opportunity to drive the ethanol market to expand opportunities for consumers to utilize higher blends of ethanol. And we're kind of frustrated.
Yeah, so that's definitely your perspective on the latest requirements. Are the volumes for biodiesel and cellulosic ethanol reasonable to you?
They are. I know the biodiesel folks would have liked to have seen a higher number. 325 million gallons of cellulose is probably about the right number as well. I mean, that's not anywhere near as robust as people would like, but, you know, it has been challenging getting that industry commercialized, in part because EPA keeps sending these negative signals that the market is not going to be as robust as it would need to be to justify those investments.
Now, EPA did release these in a timely fashion. How do you think that's going to affect the process going forward?
Well, I do congratulate the agency for meeting the deadline, and I'm confident that they will get a final rule out by the end of November, which, again, is the statutory requirement. But, you know, they view that as we've gotten the program back on track. No, simply meeting your deadlines is not getting the program back on track. Getting the program back on track is reading the statute and implementing it as Congress intended. And they are not yet doing that.
What advice would you give the EPA going forward?
I would advise EPA to just look at the numbers, recognize how much E85 is being sold today. Take a glance at how many more marketers are offering E15. Do not be held captive by the oil company narrative that says we can't possibly blend more than 10% ethanol. That's nonsense. This program was intended to drive changes in the marketplace. It was intended to drive investments in infrastructure that would allow a wider host of renewable fuels to be used. And EPA, in its tepid enforcement of this program, has really missed the boat.
All right. Well, we really appreciate your passionate thoughts on that. President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Bob Dinneen, thanks again for joining us today.